What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 136, and we start today's episode with some player training here, and also going to our first game of today's episode away against Cesena in the Serie A. Coming on the back of that 3-0 victory against Chievo Verona in the last game in the last episode. So far, perfect in the league, 4 wins from 4. We also played our first Champions League game of the group stage as well. We drew that 1-1 with Chelsea in the last episode. So right now, starting the season off, already won a Super Coppa as well. It's been a really bright beginning for us, and I'm really pleased with the start we've made here with Milan for our second season with the Italians and our 6th season in this career mode. But the first chance of this game here against Cesena would fall to us in the 23rd minute. Marco Ryan-Talos played the ball down the right hand side, cut inside and found Alvaro Morata, who smashes the ball into the back of the net, and for the £39.5 million, it's great to see him notch up once again. Morata with the goal, Ryan-Talos with the assist. He's already got 5 assists, I think it is, this season. He's piling them up early, and he assists there Morata, who gets his first goal of the game and his second goal in the Serie A so far. So 1-0 to Milan at the break, and Cesena in this game where they dominated possession but hadn't really done much else other than that, and that really is something I'm growing tired of saying, to be honest. I'm sure you're tired of hearing it as well. So either way, it's 1-0 to Milan in this game. That was the score at the break, and in the second half, Cesena again really didn't do too much at all despite dominating possession. Djokovic made a good slide tackle, if you will, to prevent a counter-attack, but then the stoppage time here, the game was still 1-0 to Milan. It was coming to a bit of a slumber end, really, not much really going on. It was a bit of a walking pace game, if you will, for the most part. As we played the ball through to Morata, though, he ran through one-on-one and put the ball past the goalkeeper for his first Milan brace and his third goal of the season. So Cesena 0, Milan 2, and that goal sort of summed it up, really. The Cesena players that were tracking back, they weren't even sprinting at full pace. They were basically jogging back with Morata, like they were escorting him towards the goalkeeper. It was just ridiculous, and we won the game by 2-0. So a really easy win for us, that one. And again, one of those games where, and I hate to keep going on about it, I really do, but when the AI just seems to prioritise possession, I just play the game and I get so frustrated because, we won that game 2-0, and you may think, why would you be why would you be mad about that? You won the game, you kept a clean sheet, your new star striker scored a couple of goals as well. Why would you be mad about that? But as an entertainer, I played that game and I thought to myself, what am I going to show you other than the goals? It's really frustrating, and hopefully next year, I really am hopeful that EA do decide to put in more AI play styles on Legendary other than just possession-based football. It's really frustrating to play the games against the AI, and regardless of what team you're using and they're using, it'll always feel like the exact same match over and over and over again. But for the second game of today's episode here, we take on Celtic away at Celtic Park, or Parkhead if you will, in Glasgow in Scotland for our second Champions League game with Milan this season, drawing the first one against Chelsea at the San Siro, now taking on Celtic away in Scotland here. Of course, you remember last season we faced Dundee United, another Scottish side, and that was the first Champions League game I played with Milan, and we lost by 1-0 away at Tannadice. So coming into this game, I was desperate to ensure we wouldn't have the same result again here and lose once again away in Scotland. But there were a couple of chances early on, one for each side really. Those were the only chance of the game. As you can see, Celtic dominating possession just like Cesena did in the last game, and it was shaping up to be another frustrating game for me. But 30 minutes after the restart here, Djokovic made a really good save at his near post and kept it goalless, and Celtic gradually started getting more attacks on the board late on in the game, and with 6 minutes to go, how about this from Celtic? This is truly glorious. Leigh Griffiths opens the scoring with just over 5 minutes remaining in the game, sends Celtic Park into raptures here as he gives the home side the lead in this game, and will surely inflict our first defeat of the season upon us as well. But look at this for a passing move. Now, this was absolutely glorious. I wouldn't mind if the AI were playing passing football and possession-based football for the entire game, if they were doing more stuff like that. Because when that goal got scored, I thought to myself, fair play. Like, seriously, fair play. You weren't just passing the ball around aimlessly around the back like Cesena did in the last game, and Celtic did for the majority of this game at least. That was actually a really nice goal there, and it was a goal worthy of winning a football match as well. Wonderful goal by Griffiths after a lovely team goal. But seconds after that, Celtic Park goes from elation to just complete despair, because we work our way up the pitch from kickoff. Ryan-Talos feeds Morata, who goes through, takes it round his man, and Alvaro Morata scores his third goal in 2 games games after coming off the bench and makes it Celtic 1, Milan 1. So Morata with the goal, and how about that for a finish as well? Celtic's goal was lovely, but this for a strike was absolutely inch perfect. It clips the underside of the bar, goes down into the ground and crosses the line, and also nestles into the back of the net. What a goal by Morata. Some serious Champions League drama here in Scotland. We celebrate in front of the home crowd as we grab ourselves what could prove to be a priceless point, because losing that game and only having 1 point from our first 2 games would have been disastrous here for us after spending over £100 million in the summer transfer window. I've said it already, I want this year to be a year where we really do establish Milan in European football and try and have a good go in the Champions League. Last season it was our first season with the Italian side. It was going to be hard for us to do much. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Barcelona in the Champions League. This year I want to go further. I want to try and get to the final and, maybe even win it as well. And, only having 1 point for 2 games would have been disastrous. So straight from kickoff, I was just determined to grab an equalising goal from somewhere, and Alvaro Morata comes off the bench and does rescue us a point. So really pleased with that. A great goal from Celtic, a lovely team goal, but Morata's finish was absolutely beautiful as well. So final score at Parkhead, Celtic 1, Milan 1, and we don't suffer the embarrassment of losing in Scotland for a second straight year in the Champions League group stage. But still, following that here, we have a squad report. You can see how the players are currently getting on. I have to say, with the January transfer window to come in January, obviously, the January transfer window to come in January, I'm looking at this team right now and I'm thinking, do I want to make any more changes to it? After spending £100 million, or over £100 million, I should say, in the summer transfer window, which, believe it or not, happened in the summer, I'm thinking to myself, what do I want to do in the January transfer window, if anything? Well, as you look at the league table right now, 100% record, 5 wins from our first 5 games, 15 points, only 1 goal conceded so far, and 14 scored as well. Flawless in the league. In the Champions League, okay, not the best of starts, but we are still in second place with 2 points from 2 games. What do I want to do in January? Well, Bonaventura does have his contract up at the end of the year, so does De Chilio. De Chilio is going to get offered a new deal, but what I think I might do with Bonaventura is gamble and risk it, not offer him a new contract and try and get rid of him and sell him in the January transfer window, get about 10, 12 million pounds for him if I can do so, and then try and sign a new player as well to replace him when you add that to about 25 million pounds we've got right now. So I left some money in the kitty in the summer transfer window for January, and I think that's probably going to be my strategy when the January transfer window comes around. Try and sell Bonaventura, cash in on the 31-year-old, I think he is now, who's decreasing in stats. He's down to an 82 now, and try and get a younger player in with, again, around £35 million total. But still, for the third and final game of today's episode here, we will take on Juventus back in the Serie A, hoping to return to winning ways in this game and keep the win streak alive in the league as well and make it 6 from 6. First chance did fall to Juventus though, and that shot went over the bar and behind for a goal kick, which really should have hit the target there, but it was still 0-0. And in the 9th minute, after a really long passage of passes here, we eventually work our way inside with Donnarumma finding Bonaventura, who gives it to De Chilio, and our right back is denied by a good save by Nato, and then somehow Bonaventura could only hit the post, and eventually Juventus scrambled the ball away. So still goalless in this game, but there were a lot of chances early on in this one. Just past the quarter of an hour mark, had another good one here. Romagnoli feeding Bakic, but once again we struck the woodwork as our Montenegro midfielder hits the post, and it is still goalless in this game. In the 25th minute, another good chance here. El Shaarawy gets a little bit lucky after that failed Berber spin, finds Bakic, who goes for goal with the volley, but cushions it over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still goalless in this game, but on a half an hour mark, another chance, this time for Juventus. Yuri Tielemans' strike goes over the bar from his free kick though, and the Belgian can't control the dead ball situation, if you will. So still goalless in this game, but just a minute to go before the break here, Juventus work their way inside with Zaza finding Pereira. His shot hits the bar, but it falls down to Marchisio, and in the centre, the experienced midfielder turns in a rebound, and just before the break here at the San Siro makes it Milan 0, Juventus 1. So the first shot hitting the bar, but the second one turned in by Marchisio. It also hit the bar as well, but it still found the back of the net, and Juventus took a lead just before the break. So really frustrated about that. It was a really action-packed first half though, loads of chances, a really fun game to play, but it was 1-0 to the away side. So in the second half, we had to respond and get ourselves back on their terms as soon as possible, and just 6 minutes after the restart here, Ryan Tala finds Morata, who sprints down the right-hand side, looking to keep his scoring streak going here, but instead of going for goal from a tight angle, he drills it across to the centre, and who does he pick out? Stefan El Shaarawy, who equalises for us 7 minutes after the break, and for El Shirawi, man, seriously. I don't know what to tell you, but the fact he's already scored more goals than last season, and we've only played just over a month's worth of football in this season, is just absolutely crazy. He had such a diabolical year last year, and already he's got 4 goals in all competitions, and that's his 3rd in the Serie A as well. So Milan won, Juventus won. Nato made a great save here in the 58th minute to deny Romagnoli from making it 2-1, but it was how the game would finish after a really action-packed first half, not much to report in the second half, and the game did finish at the San Siro. Milan won, Juventus won. So final score 1-1, and frustrated not to win once again in the league and make it 6 wins from 6. Frustrated to have back-to-back games where we can only get a draw, but to be honest, I'm not too fussed about it. Juventus do have a really good team in the game. They're one of the strongest sides in the Serie A, and just remaining undefeated and staying clear at the top of the table for the time being, it was the most important thing. So a point is not a bad result with all things considered. That does in today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do consider leaving a like. So of course much appreciated, and it really helps my channel out. Of course, you don't have to leave a like if you don't want to, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.